Hello, I'm Marianne Franzese Chasen, and this is called To the Principal's Table. So I am founder and principal at Spark Elementary in Lindenhurst, New York. Yay, shout out Lindenhurst. And part of what we do here is we are looking at what are the kinds of problems that arise in elementary schools and how do we solve it specifically at Spark. So today we are actually going to be looking at something that happens very, very rarely at Spark, but certainly did crop up this spring. And that had to do with some bullying. So we're going to talk about how we handled that. And we're also going to revisit 3 of our girls who were on earlier in the season, our Powerpuff Girls, as we call them, and see how they're doing, how they progressed, because they were actually in a situation for potential bullying, potential exclusion, and they really came through it in a wonderful way. So I'm here with Mendez, my faithful assistant, and we're happy to announce, she told me before it started, don't forget to tell everyone that we are going to be at Springfest. What is Springfest and where are we going to be, Ms. Mendez?
Springfest is the Lindenhurst Spring Festival, and we are at a booth in front of the gazebo on Wellwood.
And when is it?
Sunday, May 5th from 12 to 5 p.m.
Also known as Cinco de Mayo! Woohoo! We have a piñata.
We can get a piñata.
No beating. This is an anti-bullying. We are not taking pleasure in beating the piñata. No. We will love our piñata, and we will give out treats another way. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Sounds great. So anything else that we need to look at today? Anything else that's on my agenda? You've been very busy all morning. Spring, our last show was really March Madness, I think, and somehow we're in May. What happened? Yeah. We had our spring break. It was a great renewal, and we're ready to go. So let's start to bring some of our girls out. How about if we start with Amelia? Come on out. Yes, Amelia, come in. Oh my goodness, Amelia has returned. Amelia, do you remember the last time you were here?
Yeah.
How rough that was with Emmy and Anna?
Yes.
How has it been now? How are you feeling?
Good.
What do you mean good?
Like, I've been feeling not so stressed.
Not so stressed. How did that happen? How do you not feel, or why don't you feel so stressed?
Like, me and Emmy, we've been getting together.
To fight?
No.
No, to do what?
To be friends.
Wow. How do you think that started to turn around for the 2 of you?
Good.
Good. And you're feeling better about it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's bring out that girl you've been trying to get together with, Emmy. Come on out. There she is. Come in, Emmy. So Amelia reports that the 2 of you have been doing much better. Is that true? What do you think's going on? What's happened? Hard to describe. It almost feels like it just happened.
A dream?
Like a dream? Like it happened like a dream? Do you want me to pinch you?
No.
Are you awake?
Yes.
Are you awake? It's not a dream, girls. This is real. What have you noticed or learned about Amelia as a friend since last we met?
Whenever I get upset or cry, she helps me. She rubs my back.
Yeah, because I feel like I should calm her down because I don't want her to be too stressed.
So you notice when Emmy's feeling stressed, and one of the things you do is rub her back?
Yeah.
And that's helps you feel
I
better?
give her tissues too.
And gives you tissues? and it makes you feel like she cares about you. That's really a nice thing to do. And how about for you, Amelia? What have you learned about Emmy as a friend?
Like, she like bossy.
So she's stepped back
What I
from
mean
being
as
bossy.
What I mean as bossy, I mean like a different type of bossy, like rude.
She's not being rude. Are you mindful of your manners? Are you? Say yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Are you? You've become mindful of your manners. One of the big things we've worked on, not just for Emmy, but for most of us at school, is tone of voice, right, Emmy? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And you feel like you've worked on that a little bit? You're getting feedback from Amelia saying she noticed that your tone has changed. Have you been working on it? Have you been mindful of it?
Mindful. Well, I feel like the thing that you did for me is helping.
What did I do for you?
You got me. We thought of this idea to make buddies with me, and they watch me during the day to see if I'm doing anything not so nice, and they point it out. Don't do that. And I have a book of like feedback what I have done during the days.
I brought it. Is it okay if I share it? So we did start this project,
You
right?
can go through it.
And you don't mind me telling about it?
No.
And I love this. This is one of my favorite things. Beautiful girl. Did you say ew? Did she just say ew, Miss Mendez? To a kiss? Ah, how about a hug? Better than a kiss. This girl. I am going to pop those pom-poms right off. So, after our show, way back when we first started, and the three of you, we're going to bring Anna back out too. Should we bring Anna right now?
Yes.
Anna! Come out! The third.
Is this a dream?
We're awake, Anna. We're all waking up.
Night.
You stayed up all night. Come in closer. So, Anna, you're a big part of this triangle too. But the last time we were on, and I think we were sitting in exactly these same positions, this triangle felt so out of balance to me. It felt like it was 2 against 1. It felt like you couldn't come up with anything nice about each other.
I was on both sides.
You were in the middle. You were so. How is your stress about being in the middle? Do you feel like you're still carrying that, or it went down?
I feel like I am.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
Do you think you're doing it to yourself? Because it sounds like these girls don't need you in the middle anymore.
Yeah, but now I've been mostly out of it, and then we've been going around in a circle now, not a triangle. It's like this.
Oh my God.
Wait.
I actually noticed that yesterday while I was in the classroom.
Tell me,
all
yes,
that.
Miss Mendez subbed. What did you notice?
The dynamic from a few months ago to now is like a complete 180.
So what do you see different? Anna said it went from being a triangle to a circle.
Before
I agree. I think it's a good
before
analogy.
And this girl is saying it's a wave. That
Because-
means it's up and down,
It's
or
like-
it's flowing.
It's like this.
Is it flowing or snake? Who's the snake? Is it a black snake
It's
that will?
definitely not probably up and down, because up and down kind of means like fight, no fight, fight, no fight, fight, no
You're
fight.
right,
Yeah,
and
it's like that.
So it's actually now. like
now
a
do you
circle.
feel like it's fight no fight, or do you feel like it's more even?
Obviously.
Obviously, what do you mean? Right now, how has it been between the three of
Circle.
you? You're saying a calm circle.
Excuse
What do you-
me.
You still feel waves. Gotcha. Wait, back to Miss Mendez. What did you notice, Miss Mendez?
Being with them yesterday for a couple of periods, they don't really fight too much anymore. They express their feelings front and center. That's the first thing they do. Very open about how they're feeling, what's bothering them at the time. And instead of getting defensive with that's not what I said or that's not what I was doing, they just apologize.
That That means you must be using
No!
the power dialogue.
No!
Okay, how many power dialogues have I made you have? At least 1,000?
Zero.
Come on! You
I
had
have
so
zero.
many.
Me 3.
All
I
right.
don't even need the power dialogue
No.
anymore, and I'm not even doing the power dialogue
All right, we're
anymore.
going to show a power dialogue right now.
Why?
Because-
I hate you. I hate the power dialogue.
She's going to have a power dialogue with the power dialogue.
No!
I feel
Get me out of here.
annoyed to do a power dialogue. Okay, so yesterday,
God. Not yesterday.
or 2 days ago,
Tuesday.
I was busy. You actually came to my table and said, we think we need a power dialogue. So what was going on, Emmy, yesterday, a couple of days ago between you and Anna that upset you?
So on the bus in the morning,
Did you talk to her?
and I like to say it.
Oh,
So I was on
get
the
right
bus,
to the point.
and
And
Amelia and Anna, she was sitting next to me. I was trying to talk to her when she got on the bus, but she wouldn't answer me. She was just ignoring me for the whole ride. And I
Okay.
started getting upset and I cried because I'm like, am I doing anything mean or something?
Okay.
Because I wasn't doing
Beautiful.
anything.
So let's do this. Right now we'll pretend like it's happening. I feel
Sad
because
I don't know what was happening.
I don't know what's happening, Anna. I understand.
I understand that you feel I did not pay attention.
Oh, so important because power dialogue is all about listening.
I feel like I should do power dialogue with the power dialogue.
So let's listen now. Anna, be actively listening to Emmy. Go ahead, Emmy. Tell Anna again. I
I
feel,
feel sad because I don't know what's happening.
I understand.
that you feel sad because you don't know what's happening.
Is that right? Tell her.
That is right. So I need next time you tell me first before you do that.
I understand that you need me to tell you what's happening, but I feel stressed and sad because you're bossy with me.
Okay.
Me too.
I understand.
I understand that you feel that I'm bossy with you. What would that be?
That you feel sad and stressed because you feel like I'm bossy with you.
No,
Maybe-
she's bossy with me.
I know, right. Maybe we can. What could you do? Now
I
it's
feel like next we can do is if we just each other need a break, we could just tell each other. Because I just did.
tell her, tell Anna. I think maybe next time you could
Maybe
just
next
tell me
time.
you need a break from me.
Yeah.
Say it. You say it to her.
Next time, I feel like you can just tell me like you need a break because
Rather
I
than
just
not talking.
yeah.
I told her that a million times and she hasn't listened.
So you need
You
to
never
tell
said that.
tell Emmy, I need you to listen when I ask for the break.
I need you to listen for the break and don't say no.
Can you do that, Anna? Emmy?
Well, she doesn't ask me.
But
I
it-
did
She just
before.
ignores me.
No,
Well,
didn't.
I think the problem the couple of days ago, you might have asked Emmy on the bus or somewhere along the line, and Emmy just kept going. And then you just shut down. You wouldn't say another word to her to the point where Emmy was crying and saying, "Why aren't you
Lunch and
talking to
bus.
me?" That's where you needed to communicate again. And even get one of us, a helper, a teacher.
And she said it's hard to explain, but it wasn't even hard to explain. All she had to say is I needed a break from you.
Do you feel like it's true though sometimes if someone says I need a break, you don't listen? It's fair. Sometimes we do. Right? Could you see that happening? If someone says, "Can I just have a 5-minute break? It's too much for me."
She never really said that.
But
No,
how
I
about
did before.
if someone said that to you, could you see yourself saying, "Why? No, what?" Not sure?
I would just ask. why a break, and then I want to know their answer. And the
Okay.
thing is, I just want to know why stuff.
So we're going to go back to this idea about friendship breaks.
And actually, can I tell you without Annie or Amelia,
Where you're on live TV, everybody's hearing it. There's no privacy here, Anna. Anna, come on. You want to whisper in my ear? You
And
can't do that.
And so can I pair dialogue? What's the pair dialogue? Because I hate it.
Well, I think the part that you might hate about it, this is my guess, is that it really forces you to slow down and listen. And we have done a lot of power dialogues, and it's like you're saying, Miss Mendez, that kind of training, when we have emotion, right, when we have feeling, the last thing we want to do is listen to anybody else, because we're too full with our emotion. So that's why it's good to do the power dialogue when you're not so heated. Even like right now, it brought the heat back up for you, where I just needed you to tell me why you weren't talking to me. Communication is so important.
I was bored, and she was playing on her phone, and then she left it up so I can't see it.
So you felt left out. You felt like she
that
might
game
be
is
mad at you, and you didn't
Because
understand.
I was trying to focus on my game because I need to get through a level.
So
She
all
was
you
really
had to
focused,
say
but I couldn't just
is,
look. She wouldn't even know.
hold on, what did you need to communicate, Anna?
That I'm trying to get through the level. And also,
Yes.
Emmy is kind of bossy because then she just gets mean and then says mean things.
But
Yeah.
I want to just stick with what happened on Tuesday. Did Emmy say anything mean about you ignoring her?
Well, all she said was she's gonna stare at me.
Did she say anything mean?
Well, that was sort of mean in her tone.
No.
Emmy?
My voice is
That
always
must
like
have
this.
sounded
This is
like
how
it
it
she
sounds.
said.
Listen, Emmy, because I spoke to the teachers about it, I want to give you some good credit for the way you handled the other day. Emmy said nothing mean. Emmy was trying to get information, and it was actually kind of mean of you, Anna, to just ignore her, right? So it's okay. The point is, nobody is in trouble. Nobody is in trouble here. You had enough. You felt like you told Emmy you needed some space. She missed it. And so you just shut down. So then Emmy is trying to figure out why you're not talking to her, but she's not calling you names. She's not being mean.
No, actually she did. She said I'm being mean right now. No, she actually said it in a mean tone, and she usually says it to me a lot of times.
I said it in this voice.
She was frustrated, Anna.
No, this happens when every time I do talk to her, I'm rude.
No,
I'm
when
being rude.
when you speak to me, you speak sometimes mean.
No, she's just blaming it on me.
No, I'm not.
It's very interesting.
I'm
So
not blaming on you.
I really saw that we had some improvement happening, yes. And I actually don't see this as a problem. I see what's happening between you two girls.
This is pushing me on the bus.
We're talking about what was happening here, right? Between the two of you. What happened the other day was really about when we don't follow the rule of what Miss Mendez was talking about, which is communicate clearly how you're feeling and what you need. It starts to build up. Feelings get hurt and you don't get to clarify. There is a big difference between being mean and feeling frustrated.
I feel frustrated every day.
And I feel like you have been making a real effort to not let that come out mean, Emmy. I am proud of your effort. Anna, I feel like you have made a real effort to expand and play with other children in your class.
I always do.
You have been doing amazing with that.
No, I always
I
do.
feel like that's
even without the buddy system, I always do. Emmy's just the one who captures me from it.
But you have taken that chance, and you have really let yourself play with everybody and not get too involved with arguing about things anymore, right? So I think all three of you are growing as friends.
The still thing that bothers me is just whenever I have like something going on with other friends, I feel like every time Amelia jumps into it.
Well, because it's okay.
Because she always says, that's mean, Emmy.
I think
it's mean. It's making about Amelia right now.
These girls are a lost cause. I'm done, ladies. I cannot give you any more. I can't. I'm not. I will tell you about what we have done. This is now each of your responsibility. Since our last meeting on this show, I have dedicated every single lunch period to sit with two people from your class, right?
Oh, yeah.
Emmy and a buddy.
Sometimes 3, but not really.
Sometimes 3. We have rotated. We started a buddy system where each of you
Which I really
have to
don't
learn.
like.
Listen, and it will continue
For one.
until you can all appreciate that different people bring different things to a friendship. You've also done reflection on what works, what doesn't, on a daily basis, accountable. But right now, what I'm hearing at this table is that it'll never be good enough. There will always be something to find fault with. And if that's the kind of friend you're going to be, you will never be happy. Because there is not a friend that is perfect.
That's what my mom
There is a
said.
key to this.
Everybody's perfect.
No one is perfect. The key is friends are not purposely mean to each other. Friends do not do things that they know will hurt another friend's feelings. That's it. We make mistakes as friends and sometimes we hurt each other's feelings, yes.
And my mom
We
said
do,
no-
but
no
as
others.
friends, no one is. We get frustrated with each other. Sometimes we yell at each other. Sometimes we cry.
I cry
But
a
it's
lot.
because we care. So I think we are going to have to keep working on listening to each other better. And as long as you're able, and you girls might not notice it, but your teachers are noticing how much better you're all getting along. Miss Mendez was there firsthand. Every day that I sit with Emmy and a buddy at my lunch table, I learn wonderful things about each one of you. So I do think that there's a lot of positive. And I think that you've got to recognize that. Do you know what I mean by that, Amelia? When I say recognize it, I mean it's like you've got to notice the good that's happening. You started off when I asked you how you're doing, you were like, oh, my stress is way lower, right? That's noticing something good. Emmy started off by saying, I've really noticed that Amelia is kind to me when I'm upset. And Anna, I am going to now ask you for something that you've noticed that has been good in the friendship here.
And I always say, like, if she's like stressed, I always say, are you okay?
Are you okay? What have you noticed? Something good that's been happening between you, Emmy, Amelia.
That there
Lady.
hasn't been that much fights.
No, there hasn't been any. Has there?
No.
When was the last time there was a fight? months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like
Right, Anna, say it again. What have you noticed? Because it's an important
that
one.
there wasn't that much fights.
and I think this whole fight
There wasn't that much fights? When was there a fight?
Well, sometimes the girls just get into like a little bit of something saying.
And do they resolve it?
Yeah.
Is
That's
that a
normal.
fight?
They go
That's
back to playing.
normal.
That's
normal.
So tell us again what you noticed, Anna.
Well, I feel
I
feel
can't
like
be
this
doing
fight.
this.
I
You are doing it. You're doing so great.
I feel like this.
Anna got it. There haven't been any fights. There have been misunderstandings
something?
that you guys have resolved. But fighting, I have not seen a fight in months. Would you agree,
Well,
Anna?
I feel like this whole fight is.
Come here, Anna, pull closer.
I think this whole
Uh-uh.
fight's silly.
Would you agree? Has there been any
Did
fights?
what?
Nope.
Has there been any fights? Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah.
And back to what happened between you and Emmy. I want you to know, Anna, I understand what it's like to feel like you've asked someone to give you some space and they don't really hear you and you feel like all you can do is shut down. I understand that because it's the choice is either I shut down or I start yelling, and I don't want to yell, right? So I understand that. And I think once you saw Emmy starting to get sad, all you needed to do was communicate. Listen, Emmy, I just need space from you today. And if she couldn't have given it to you, then you come ask for help, okay? Does that make sense? What made sense to you that I just said?
Nothing.
Yes, don't say nothing. She did. She was listening to me. Go ahead. What made sense? Put your hand down.
I can say something.
What did you hear me say about what happened yesterday?
You mean Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I can't remember.
I'll help you again. I understand that you felt like you needed to shut down, right? And all you needed to do was let Emmy know that you needed space when she started getting upset. Okay? So what did I just say?
That you understand that I need space.
Yes, and what did you need to do?
Just thanks.
What did you need to do when Emmy started to get upset?
Tell her I need space.
That's all. Because as soon as we see a friend get upset, we want to be able to address it. Because we don't want our friends to feel upset. Okay, does that make sense?
I have something to say.
Go ahead, Emmy, say it. Phew.
I think
These girls drive me nuts. Go ahead.
I think this fight is just weird, only silly because it just started in first grade when I did not say hi to Amelia.
Is it over? Are we letting it go?
I would not be friends with you.
But is it done? I think it disappeared.
It's over.
All right, let's look at the book. So, Emmy has kept a log with her class every day. They reflect. Okay, what have I learned about from my buddy today? And was there something that was hard for me? So here on Emmy, you reflected, it was hard for me when I had to work as part of a team today. That's amazing. Some days you just don't feel like you're in a team mood. But Amelia, who was your buddy, said, Emmy worked really well with me today. It was hard to work as part of the bridge building team because it was hard for her to listen to my ideas. So that makes sense. You had your ideas, she had her ideas, but she still thought that it was good. It was just hard. hard doesn't mean it's bad, right? Oh, what else? It was hard for me at recess when I had to choose an activity. It was hard to choose an activity that we all wanted to do together. Oh, this was
a
it.
say that. Miss L wrote that.
Oh, really?
Miss L.
I did. She has really nice hands.
Miss L does have nice handwriting. It's so nice. But what is nice about this book is that every day it kind of takes a little snapshot of what was hard, what was easy. No, you're going to keep going with it.
Excuse me, Principal
You're going to be
Marianne.
okay. Yes.
When is the buddy system gonna end?
I think we're going to just keep going with it. Your class has been a model class working the buddy system.
Because
We're
I
gonna
don't
do the
really
whole
like
school.
What don't you like about it, Anna?
the recess part because sometimes I just want to be left alone in recess.
So maybe we could
She doesn't
adjust
like
it to at recess, people can play with anybody they want. They don't just have to stick with the buddy. Because what you're saying is sometimes at recess you just want to be alone?
And I thought of
Fair.
like, why can we not just do like a day free each week, like a
I
day
think
that
that's
we have
fair.
no buddy at recess.
Sounds like a good plan.
And if you can send me at recess, you have to play with somebody. You have to play with
Because
And
that's
also
what the
me
rule
too.
was. That's what
And
the
me
rule
too.
has
But
been.
And
I'm following
But she's
the rule.
right, she's trying to follow the rule. And Miss Kristen, not this Kristen, recess Kristen, it gets stressed about it. She's like, Principal Marianne, do they have to play with their buddies? Can they play with other people? Buddies plus whoever you want. But if you need time alone at recess, I think that's fair.
And also, some days I want to be left alone and don't want to be with a buddy.
I got you, Anna.
Wait,
I
what
think
day,
that makes
but
sense.
Then what
All right, ladies, so
What days it could be the free day without buddies?
give me a word about how you're feeling about just being a third grade
have
girl
to say
and a friend.
When
Last-
is the free day, buddy day, and each week, like what day? Like
No, I actually
Tuesday,
like it
Friday?
every day.
I don't know. We could talk about it at lunch
Can
on
we do
Monday.
it every day?
All right, give me a word.
Chicken.
How do you feel about this group of three?
Chicken.
Thumbs up. Give me a word. Emmy, how do you feel about how it's been going overall?
Good and chicken.
Please don't make me laugh so hard that I was crying.
And Anna,
I can't think.
you can
No,
think.
I have a headache.
I don't blame you. I have a headache after this. All right.
Can you stop
All right,
with the chicken
my beautiful three Powerpuff Girls.
We're
Keep at it. One day you
We're
will
staying
be
up
the
all night.
my
We're
unicorn.
staying up all night.
Hayden, come out.
Staying up all night.
Come in, Hayden. Come sit on this side. Holy cow, Hayden. Did you hear that interaction?
Most of it.
Those girls, Miss Mendez.
I'm exhausted.
They are doing so amazing, which is the crazy thing, but they come to the table, they can't take it in.
I know. They don't realize the
It-
transformation.
It's hard to take in the positive sometimes. Actually, Hayden and I, you're representing the fifth graders today. And this is actually really one of our most serious issues, which is the sprouting of bullying behavior at Spark, right?
How it spreads.
And how it grows. So what would you say is the difference between bullying and just somebody like getting mad and punching somebody or saying something mean?
So like there's being a bully and then there's being aggressive.
Yes, so what would you say is the
You
difference?
can be aggressive is you're naturally aggressive. If someone touches you, please don't touch me, I don't like that. You can get annoyed easily and do this. But bullying, you see, don't touch me, I only want certain people to touch me, I only want certain people to do this. Certain people I don't like. And it goes for all types of bullying. And it's because there's physical bullying, mental bullying.
There is all kinds of bullying. So wait, let me get this clear. So you're saying that someone who's aggressive just might be quick to react.
Yes.
How is that different from a bully? A bully is thinking about it, are you saying?
Well, aggressive, it's to everybody. A bully picks on specific people.
Why specific people?
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just some people, they don't know, but if they get I'm bored, I'm gonna try to annoy somebody or something.
I think
like
it's
that.
I think
But
it's a little
than
more.
that.
I do. I think what is the distinction for me is that when someone bullies, there's a certain reward they're getting from that behavior.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? What do you think I mean by
I
that?
feel like, ooh, I just put somebody down. I'm happy now. Because putting somebody down just brought me
Yeah.
back up.
It gives a certain level of
I feel
pleasure.
like it's literally like a game. If I did, and I feel like I tell so many people, if I, ooh, I just killed this person, yes. I just hurt this person's feeling, yes.
There is
That's how
a
I feel like
pleasure.
it's equivalent.
So this idea of there being a pleasure out of getting someone upset is what is so disturbing about bullying.
Definitely.
Okay, so we started to see it cropping up. Now the thing about it is, as kids, it can start out as a little funny. If you know that if you poke someone and that person starts screaming and yelling, it can be a little bit like, oh, I'm gonna keep poking. I like it.
Dramatic.
Right.
I think it's funny, yeah.
It's kind of funny. And then it makes kids want to do it over and over again. So it becomes
That's the problem.
very important to stop it before it gets out of hand, because tell us how it sort of grew from your 5th grade class.
Now let's see, it was this all, they would be picking on something for something that already happened. Because there was a person there that, nothing weird, nothing, she just did something. It's like nobody cared. It's not disgusting, it's not weird. And then a new person came. And we would all leave it alone, like it's nothing, you're not something to poke at. We would all leave it alone, but then this new person would make it
Bigger?
And this is about 2 years ago.
Okay.
They would make it a little, and they'll go, oh, this person is doing this, this, and this. And everybody's like, oh.
So what?
And that person gets, I say it like she's a sponge. Can take it, but can only take so much until can't hold anymore.
All human beings, right? You want to kind of laugh with the joke, go along with it, but then there comes a point it starts to hurt. Well, it happened in our community,
Yes.
and I saw it get to the point where someone's feelings was really on the line about it, and
But it wasn't as bad.
And the community, I listened to the community, your 5th grade community said, we feel like this is being done on purpose, and there's some pleasure that's being taken from it. And that personally infuriated me, right? So, whoosh, the fire comes out of my ears. I hear about it, and there is the rumbling, right? What is going on? Put down the hammer. This kind of behavior has to stop. Full authority, would you say? Say everybody took me seriously?
I heard you from down the hall.
You heard me from down the hall? It was strong.
But it was a serious problem, though.
It was strong. Strong. But that, in and of itself, will not change behavior, because you need to understand what's going on. But the first reaction is an outrage. of
It
this
has to be,
cannot,
'cause it
this
has
is
to.
not our culture.
Kind of like you're sleeping, you have to wake up.
You gotta wake up.
Understand.
Wake up.
Like, well, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So that was the first line. The second line was coming to understand what was going on, talking to all parties involved, really working it. And then it still didn't really feel resolved. Even after spending hours talking to everybody. And that's when it came to me that
It's more than just.
we have to help the community to have a way to respond to bullying. And so we came up with this project, and the fifth graders are our leaders in it, where we looked at 4 ways to respond to bullying. Because we recognize it, and when we recognize it, sometimes you just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So we came up with body, mind, heart, and spirit. And the body is the role of who?
Bodyguard.
The bodyguard. So you simply use your body to show up. Nonviolent, nonverbal protest. So what would that look like? Show us. You can stand up. So if I'm, hey you, you got something weird on your head. Is that called hair?
That is not nice.
What? Your body, you just come stand. With his body, he's showing protest. The more people that join in standing around and being like, what? What are you saying? The less I'm going to feel like I can carry on. He's not laughing along with me. He's looking at me in a way that I get he's disgusted with how I'm behaving. Like, ew. Second is the mind, and we call the mind role speaker of the house. So speaker of the house is using words that just let the bully know that that's not part of the culture that we're in. So we'll do the same role play.
Like,
You can be speaker of the house when it's time. Oh, what's that? I do not know bullying language. What's that on your head?
that's not okay.
What?
What you said.
Why
How do you think
not?
she feels.
Golden rule. How do you think she feels? That's not okay. Key words for speaker of the house. We don't do that here. Awesome. Third is from the role of the heart, which we call the earth angel. And the earth angel can either take the person who's being bullied or the bully and say, come, let's have a heart to heart. How are you doing? How are you holding up? What's going on? So you can show us earth
And you
angel.
did that with my class. You were kind of like, okay, how are you? This happened.
True.
We resolved it.
Thank you. You're calling me an
Yeah.
earth angel? You think that's my natural role? Who do you think? Wait, well, I'll ask you that afterwards. What's going on with that hair of yours today?
No.
Did you straighten it? What? Come what?
What's going on?
What do you mean?
Why? Just why? What's going on?
What's going on?
Is there something like frustrating you?
Yes, cool. So he's trying to take me on. And then the last, coming from spirit, is the peacemaker. And the peacemaker can actually hold the space for power dialogue, compromise, come, let's sit down, let's cool down, let's get mindful. What's wrong with you? Over there, giggling. Why are you giggling at me? Peacemaker.
Okay. Yes.
Give us the timeout. Timeout. Let's go.
Time out.
Let's clear this up.
there.
So we've got these 4 roles, and then what did we do at recess? What game did we start playing?
Undercover bully.
Undercover bully. So someone is chosen to be a bully. Nobody knows who it is, and as it's happening on the playground, every person, whoever witnesses, needs to choose one of these roles that they feel most comfortable with and
Nobody knows
respond.
that they're supposed to do that.
No,
This is supposed to be a
undercover.
natural.
and then we reveal it. What would you say is your most comfortable role, Hayden? Are you the bodyguard naturally, the peacemaker, the earth angel, or the speaker of the house?
Naturally, I talk a lot, so speak of the house.
I think totally you're speaker of the house. I agree. And you have said plenty of times, I have heard you say, that is not okay, not cool, nope. And that is helpful to hear. As simple as that, as calm as that. Miss Mendez, what would you say you are?
I would say either Peacemaker or Earth Angel.
Yeah, you totally look to get underneath it, to solve it, to understand it. Really important. And I think lately I've been sort of the bodyguard. Give the look.
Stand up.
Just stand up. Less talking, more looking. With that
You're
look.
level 4.
Thank you.
I think you go down the list. You start as a bodyguard,
Yes.
and once you have them focused in on you, then you move on to the next, and the next, and then the next.
You know what? We actually did role playing of this. Everybody has practiced. We came to see who in the school most naturally takes different roles, right? One of our big surprises was Aiden, who is one of the quietest people in your class. Yeah. And who was he strongest at being?
Speaker of the house, I feel.
Yep.
Definitely.
When he spoke, everybody listened. It was really amazing. So
I think that's why everybody listened. It was more of a surprise.
it was a surprise, like, whoa, if Aiden is
things are
speaking up
expected.
when you don't expect it. So we're continuing to kind of work this out and really help the students in the school feel like they can step into a role rather than feel the helplessness. Because one of the things about bullying is the bully, the person who is being bullied, and the witness of bullying. All three share one thing, and that's a feeling of powerlessness. The bully's trying to get their power by putting someone else down. The person who's bullied feels like they have no power to really fight back and change it. And the people who are witnessing it feel the powerlessness of, I don't know what to do. And so that's where it really clicked for me. And we're going to have Miss Lori out because I worked with Miss Lori to come up with what would be the embodiment. How do we start teaching kids how to take on a role that will help them get their power back in this situation? Do you feel like you've gotten some of your power back since then? As far your community, do you feel like your community's gotten some of their positive power back?
I feel like they always had power.
Yes.
It was not lost. It was like, put it in the drawer.
Oh, that's such a cool way of putting it,
Put it in
Hayden.
the drawer.
Yeah,
While the whole
like
situation happened.
they put their power in the drawer. We let it out of the drawer. Open the drawer, take it out. And we remembered. It was forgotten. I did a check-in with your community this morning, and I was really happy to see that everybody seemed to be clear, working together better, even a little scared of, I don't want to cross this line again, right? I don't want to be in trouble for that because there are serious consequences. And
No, first I feel like everybody was scared of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get in trouble.
yeah,
But
because they would.
But I feel like it wasn't so much of it. After the whole thing happened, I feel like it wasn't so much, oh, you're worried about getting in trouble. You should more worried about, okay, now this happened. We figured out the problem. Now we have to come up with a solution.
And
So
now,
it's not about,
oh, keep going. Keep your thought
now
going.
it's not about the, oh, well, I'm getting in trouble. It's more about the, okay, this was a serious problem. This, and this happened, and now we have to fix it. Because if we don't, the whole thing's gonna do over again.
What kind of community are we? And there's a way to fix it. I have some choices in how I can respond. All I know is I can't not have a response.
Yes.
There needs to be a response to this kind of injustice. You're really close to being ready to graduate, my friend. Such a good leader. You are going to bring this kind of wisdom to wherever you go. I'm so proud of you, Hayden. So proud of you. All right, let's bring out Miss Lori to wrap it up. Miss Mendez, you want to take these babies home? You can. Oh my goodness, Miss Lori. So proud of him.
I'll be the left brain today.
Good, come on this side.
I don't know that that's appropriate, but
So here we are on the wrap up of this, right? This idea, and you worked very closely with me. We went in and trained the kids. We did our role playing, but coming up with this skill, right? It really is a social skill to
Right.
be able
Yes,
to
yes.
have a stance against bullying or in the face of bullying. And how do we proactively help children to know who they are in
Right.
response to this? And part of the way we developed it is like all thing in Spark, we say we are education of mind, body, and soul, right?
Right.
So then, okay, how does a good mind respond to bullying? How does a good body? How does a good heart? Soul is heart and spirit together, right? And ultimately, spirit is wisdom.
Right, and I like that together because I feel like this serves the bullied and the bully themselves.
The bullied and the bully.
For a couple different reasons. The first being a bully needs victims to be a bully.
Mhm.
As soon as you remove them,
Right.
they're gonna have to figure out a new way to go. I noticed the girls, which is kind of what made me think of this. They went into their little routine,
Yes.
which they've practiced many times. So I was like,
There they are.
this is where we're used to, and they go back to that spot. Bullies are, if you want to take a moment and just think where they're coming from, they're not strong socially. They have a hard time reading and understanding people's feelings and how to react. So they might take a neutral situation or something somebody says, and they perceive it as aggression or hurtful to them. They don't think that they started it most of the time.
Interesting.
They didn't include me, so I'm going to wreck their game.
Yes.
But so what they do when you're bullying somebody, you are you're holding them down. You're keeping them down and not letting it go into this territory that it's almost cliche to say that you want to keep things where you can control it, but I mean in a real profound way. They don't know the dynamics of relation apart from that scenario. So they want to keep people in that. What you're doing is you're disarming is the word I think I use. I'm like, you're disarming them. You're saying, no, here we don't do that. If you want to cooperate and you're still invited with us, you'll have to do it in a healthy way. So you teach these pro-social skills, which is you're not required to be good at being social, but you're required to be social to be with us.
Mm-hmm.
And it pushes them into this uncomfortable ground. So they're going to try to squirm and be like, no, let's go back to where our new game becomes pick, and then you go tell on me. A lot of times bully because that keeps them in a social circle of sorts. Not a good one, but it keeps them in it. They get to go to you. They're still with those people
And
that they think would not be their friend otherwise, but they're still interacting with them day after day.
And I do see how it actually, with you talking, what just occurred to me, it's pro-bully in the response is non-shaming to the bully.
It's an invitation.
Right. It
We-
is the
we-
we. It's
If- bec-
we're teaching
What
you
a
the
bully
laws
does
of the we.
is repressive. They're like, you're not included. This is pro-social and inclusive because it's we don't do that. And when you're saying we, you're including the bully. It's still an
Yes.
invitation, but it's on ethically good terms.
And we saw
Which
it
is how it should
happening
be.
with our fifth graders because what started to happen was like where the kids' response to what they were seeing and feeling started that the rest of the community to kind of escalate in a way of kind of targeting the child who was doing the bullying behavior. He was doing this, exaggerating. He really feels this. And it started to become
It's
like,
because they think you
Yeah,
never include.
right.
Yeah, they.
and so they just were getting out of hand with a response that kept everybody divided. And truly, when they're playing their undercover bully on the playground, like, it's not a dramatic response. Even though they're stepping into dramatic roles, it's very,
They're not stepping into further danger. They're stepping away from it.
yes.
If that, so it's not. Sometimes it might be dramatic.
Mm.
Not that it's not dramatic, but it's not traumatic. Let's say that.
Okay, yes.
But it's not. It's not an invitation to go further into danger.
No.
Where it's like because and also it's. I mean.
Disarming,
One
it's
of,
back
one of
to
the
that.
greatest strengths you can have in this world, no matter who you are, what you're good at, what you're not, is know thyself. And the kids practiced many of these, so they know
did.
what they're good with because you don't want, if you're not a speaker of the house, and
Yes.
your time is passed at Spark and you go out into the rest of the bully world, which kind of feel, not to say that about them, but the last thing you want to do is be tripping over yourself verbally in front of a bully. That's inviting more.
Yes.
But having, through repetition and through trial and error, they already know that would be provocative.
And that's really
Which is what a bully's
important.
looking for to justify
Yes.
what they're doing.
And also for the child to be able to respond, right? What does our culture show us as far as movies? The person who stands up to
It's
the
a bigger
bully
problem
is like
in-
the big vigilante, and they
It's so
got
much
it.
worse in Western society because they're like, oh, you're a bully?
Yep.
I'm gonna call Iron Man.
Right.
Like,
What if you're
and
not
the
Iron Man?
big-
Yes.
And even if you are Iron Man, don't do that. Please don't do that because the whole, if you go back to just essentials, okay? Why is bullying wrong? At its core, what's wrong with it? If somebody's masochistic, is it bad to bully him? I say yeah. Like my kid's like, I don't mind. I
Not
say it's
okay.
still wrong. The thing that's wrong with it is if there's two people in a rough situation and they're like, I'm gonna call Iron Man, and he's gonna come in. You're perpetuating, I guess, this false idea that the bully began, but now you didn't change that and redirect with this because the bully's like, we're doing it my way because I'm bigger, stronger, louder, better at shaming, and then you call Iron Man and you're like, actually, I'm right because now we're bigger, stronger. You're not right because you're stronger. You're not right because you're louder. You're not in the right because whatever method you use, you are better able to restrain somebody else's voice. You're right because you're right on principle. And this forces them into this step by step.
And they're
And-
the
And
embodiment.
do we want our kids to be right because at their core they're right in situations, or do we want them to be right because they found a way to be strongest,
and to
biggest?
be yes.
No, bulliest.
And it comes back to if right, your theory is this is ultimately the bully is outside of the social realm of connectedness, right? So there's an inability to kind of communicate, connect, find their way in, and this is the way they're finding their way in through this kind of behavior. It does kind of take me back to the girls because like ultimately the work with the girls to go from triangle to circle is work of communication.
Right.
And the breakdown that we saw between Emmy and Anna came from when Anna withdrew communication. And simply by doing that, it really then had this impact on, you know, I don't know how to manage this. I don't know how to read this.
Right.
And so there's these layers of teaching.
I was just going to say there's a hierarchy of the dynamics that are going on. When you're talking about pro-social behavior, let me see if I can figure how to express this, the feeling that you gave me. First of all, as we've talked about on a previous show, it does require them leaving their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Good or bad, their comfort zone was the routine, and you're asking them to come out of it. Mm-hmm. And so it's saying, we don't do that anymore. So, but now when you see them, we're not seeing bullying, we're not seeing fighting, we're not seeing unfairness, we're not seeing wrong. No. Like if I'm talking about just black and white, right and wrong, what we are seeing is this awkwardness of forging a new way.
Yes.
They still sound a little awkward, but at least it's because they're awkward doing it right.
Because it was much more comfortable fighting than not.
And even if they're like, I get used to my voice getting more like this, that's okay. But now it's on principle, where the basis is for the friendship. So that's okay. Your voice still gets high because it's a habit. Habits last past the change of heart a lot of times, right? Even me, I was like, I just said that, but but you know what I mean? That the habits are kind of the last thing to dissolve in behavior changes. So you have to say, the change of hearts happened, they all showed up together. If they were truly at odds, one of them would have been like, no.
Yes.
I'm done. The other thing I wanted to point out is so important what you're saying about the girls, maybe one not talking to another. This is also bullying, and I think people don't hit on it very much, is how uniquely different females, young girls, can be in bullying. It's more subtle. Mm-hmm. It's more dynamic. It's less physical. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of it can be mental, and it's important to know your students. You can do it because you have a small environment, but other schools that are not, it's important to develop a way to learn to know your students, to encourage teachers, to encourage, one of the things you do is friends to know their friends. This is, help each other because you won't always see it if you're just surveying. This is kind of a kingdom. It's a personal, this is very subtle personal interaction stuff going on that it just, glancing across everything, it could look okay, but there's a lot going on underneath the surface.
And it's a lot to sort through because again, if we go back to what we saw evolving with the girls, for Anna to be able to get to the place where she says, I need space, so healthy. Yes. Right? So healthy. I need space. Well, how are you going to take that space?
We are winning. She feels comfortable enough to take the space and not think something's going to happen with the other two, bringing them closer together. They couldn't do that
They
3 months
couldn't,
ago.
exactly.
Do you remember they'd be like,
What?
I'm
can't.
exhausted, I'm falling apart.
Right.
But I'm not taking space because you might
I
get
can't.
friendlier without me. I'm not
Exactly.
reenacting one of the children, but I'm saying I'm reenacting what I might feel in my own heart. I want to say that because I don't want them to
And-
think
and I
I'm saying
really-
it's with them. But
no,
that did happen
and
with
it's
them.
connected
also.
to this really, and I would say it like the most important point of any response to any kind of bullying program in any school, right? There are these bullying kinds of techniques. Friendship resolution, this is conflict resolution in friendship, is moving towards the change of heart.
Right.
And like you said, I will put this out, the heart can change, but the habits will take longer to change.
Right.
And that is the key work to navigate and not give up on.
For another show, another day, it needs to be said that sometimes when you're on the outside looking in, which is the only way that you can approach things, it can work the other way around, where it's like, will not tolerate this habit while we wait for the inside to change. I just want to toss that out there so
It is.
people,
No,
because
you're right.
it's not,
You're
it's
right.
not
It's
an
both
excuse.
ways.
It's not an excuse to say,
I
love
want
you
to.
now, but it's just these darn habits I'm losing to, because you can also change the habit and the heart will follow.
Mhm.
But
Either
I'm
way,
saying be forgiving for lingering habits if in
behavior.
principle
Mhm.
you're working on the same thing and,
And
you're
I
there
think,
together.
and I think you're absolutely right on that. So it is this alignment of the principle being that intention is never to cause harm. Period.
Right.
No intention to cause any form of harm, like Hayden said, mentally, emotionally, physically, no harm. If there is an intention to cause harm because it gives some reward or pleasure, then yes, that
I'm
needs
so
to
glad
be
you said that, because that
addressed.
that defines it on a little bit higher level, because we were just saying you can't call all aggression bullying.
right.
Also, if the intention's not there, I made a mistake today, I'll tell you on the drive, where I
Right.
said something I actually thought was a big compliment to someone. They told me off.
Right. It
I
landed
came here
wrong.
wanting to cry. No, they said, you are a rude,
Yes.
they let me have it. At first I was like, how, I felt a little angry back, but when I think about it, I'm like, I'm lucky they told me.
Right. Right. I'm learning.
But
no,
I would say for my part, like you, I also at the moment I couldn't, though, because all I wanted them to know was like, that didn't exist. What you saw didn't exist. Honestly. But it's hard. That's the thing. You can't convince somebody of something.
But it is the
And that's
motivation.
why bullying also doesn't win, because you can silence a man, but you can't convince his heart. I could make you be quiet and play what I'm playing, but in your heart, you're not my friend.
Well, it takes
Until
a while.
you're my friend.
It's a development, and coming from the drama therapist perspective, to be given a role, right? And it's exactly what you're saying, whether habits come first or heart change. You can put on the costume of the bodyguard and not fully know what it means to be a bodyguard, but it starts to warm you up to the
Right.
role. Ultimately, becomes the integration between outer and inner, right?
Right.
And that is what we did, I think, for the bullying is gave the kids some concrete uniform to put on, as far as this is who I am going to be in response.
And I think
And it
the
feels
most
comfortable for me to do that.
one of the most clever things I think you added to it was you had the anonymous bully.
Yes, undercover bully. I do
Because
love that idea.
I love that they might accidentally correct.
Someone who's not the undercover bully.
That wasn't the undercover bully, because they
And it
have
is
they're forming that habit of being brave, and there's no safer space than play space.
play space, and it becomes farcical too,
And you have your
because
little
it's
kids
bigger.
practicing with the puppets.
Yeah.
But when we cannot do the puppet, then we get to practice with my own body.
And I
but
could
it's
be
so
exaggerated
I love the idea
or
that
not.
somebody might be bullying, and they're going to be like, "We don't do that." And then if they, guess what? There was an undercover one, but you did it for real today.
Yes, I love it.
And you
And
don't
so,
know.
on that note, there may be an undercover bully in your playground or neighborhood or supermarket. Figure out who you are. Are you a bodyguard, speaker of the house, earth angel, peacemaker, and show up in full regalia?
Yes.
Who would you say you are, speaker of the house?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I think you're peacemaker.
Oh, thank you.
Because you have the neutrality to hear both sides without judgment.
I
when
get
I was
hearing
so
the
not
kids,
good.
I was hearing the kids say it, and I was like, I would be like, Seth, I like blue.
No.
Which one is?
Totally
I can't
peacemaker
tell.
because you don't have judgment. You can hear
tried
both
it.
sides. You get both
Thanks for
sides.
saying that. Then I'll wear that hat and see how I like it.
I
this
used to
week.
be Earth Angel, but I don't know where I've gone, where my wings have gone. In the drawer?
The greatest angels with the greatest light took a sword and slayed Satan violently.
Archangel Michael to the
Don't
rescue.
ever forget that, and don't let anybody take it away from you.
you.
Being
Thank
aggressive is not being a bully.
Right.
Being strong, and girls, as much as we said girls do it different, because
Thank you.
don't ever teach our young girls that being strong means you have lost one of these. And I'm shaking telling you this because I don't
Miss
ever want to
Lori,
hear a
thank
young
you.
lady hear that.
I
And
get you,
that's
what
a
you're
mistake,
saying.
and I don't want them to hear that. You're an
True.
angel. So, well,
And until next time, sorry, Bobby, we ran over. Earth Angels took over.
be
somehow.
strong.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to our love fest. He left. The
I don't know. I
Where's
think he's
Hillary?
gone. We could keep going on our
You're
angels.
the singer.